Arroz con calamares. In essence, this is Puerto Rican style rice with squid. Delicious. And remember, if I can cook it, so can you. So go nowhere. Let's create arroz con calamares. First thing I want to show you is the ingredients you're going to need for your sofrito. I do have pre-prepared sofrito, and I have a link in my description, but I know a lot of people don't have the sofrito pre-prepared, so you're going to have to do it on the spot. And this is the ingredients you're going to need. You're going to need some oregano, not a lot. Couple garlic teeth, which you're going to mince as you cook. About a tablespoon of chopped onions. Tablespoon or so and a half of bell peppers, red and green, combined for that amount. Cilantro, which I'm going to chop a little bit, and culantro or recao. And I got a couple of leaves. I might cut them a little bit just to make them manageable. But if you cannot find this in a Latino market or something like that, just go with an extra bit of cilantro. That's for you sofrito. Now, what else you're going to need for this? You're going to need rice. I have about a cup and a half. I have some stock, chicken stock that I prepare myself. And that's very easy to do. You can buy it or you can use water. It doesn't matter. I'm going to have some extra virgin olive oil, salt for taste. I'm going to have some annatto. You can use the seeds and pre-prepare what I'm going to do with annatto, and I have a link in the description. Or you can go powder. So you're going to need a little bit. It's going to add a little nice color. You're going to need a grated tomato. See how red? I got this from the farmer's market. I have some turmeric. You're going to need just a little bit to add that nice looking color, and it's good for antioxidant anyhow. And some smoked paprika. And of course, I'm going to need the squid. I have this version and the tentacles. And you're going to cut this part in little rounds, and I'm going to show you how to do that. And that's pretty much it. And this is what you do. You cut some rounds. See how it looks. See? And you have some tentacles. If you want to cut a tiny bit, you can do that. I don't need to. That's fine the way it looks. So the first thing you're going to do, you're going to have a little, pan. This one is cast iron, medium high heat, make sure it's hot. Some extra virgin olive oil, enough to cover the surface area. You don't want this swimming. And you're going to add your squids. And you do this because you want to add some nice color. You're going to do this for not a long time, maybe a minute, if that. You add a little bit of sea salt. So you have the taste already. And you do this for about a minute. Couple notches about medium. Another thing it does, it gets the tentacles to get formed instead of looking slimy and get entangled up with the rice. Now these tentacles look like tentacles. They look nice and pretty. So I have my Loyo Caldero. We call in Puerto Rico Caldero, this pot. And I had this for, I would say, about at least 25 years, maybe 30. Had the heat at medium high. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put oil because I'm going to prepare my sofrito. But I want this oil to become annatto oil, so I'm going to use some annatto ground. And what it does, it adds that color. Once again, you can pre-prepare this using annatto seeds. And you can preserve it. You don't even have to refrigerate it. And I have that in my description. See the color taken. Let me lower the heat to medium. Let me add a tiny bit more oil, just a tiny bit. And actually, if you want a better color, you use the actual annatto seeds. Just put a few. See the color it has? And what you're going to do now, you're going to prepare your sofrito. So you start with the green peppers and the red peppers. This is a medium now. Add your cilantro and recao. Some oregano. Onions. I haven't forgotten the garlic, but I want this to start mixing up first for about a few seconds. Ooh, smelling good. And then what you do is you add some of your garlic. You just mince it. Doesn't have to be perfect, but make sure it's not there for a long time. You don't want to burn. So you have to move fast. Wait on for a few seconds. And that's how you prepare the sofrito, real time. Or you have the pre-prepared one that I showed you earlier. Link in the description how to prepare the other one. And use that instead of this. So it saves you time. What you do now is you add some tomato sauce. Add a little bit of turmeric. Not turmeric, but smoked paprika, just a little bit, and a tiny bit of turmeric. In essence, I'm creating a sazon too, combined with the sofrito, and this is becoming the base. And move things around. Stir. See how beautiful it's starting to look, the color? See? And then what you're going to do, you're going to add your squid now with the oil and everything. Scrape it. Hold this carefully. Increase the heat to a couple notches back to medium. I have a cup and a half of rice. So for now, I'm going to start with the broth. And I think I'm going to put about a cup and 3/4, even 2 cups, because you have to account for all the solids. And you want this to have the heat at medium high, because you want the heat to increase. And then what you do is you add your rice. Now you know if you have sufficient rice or sufficient liquids by this method. What you do is you grab a tool, spoon or whatever, and you want to have about half an inch, maybe an inch, even a 1/4 inch above the rice. That's much liquid. Let me add a tiny bit more, just a tiny bit. And you distribute the rice carefully. And you want to get this simmering first before you go to do the next step. Let it simmer. So what I'm doing is I'm mixing the rice so all the squid and the other ingredients are mixed. It's simmering a little, but give the liquid a little taste, the broth. And add salt as needed. My broth didn't have salt, so I knew I needed to add some, and I added it to my taste. And stir a tiny bit. One more time. Not a lot, just a tiny bit. What I'm going to do now that it's simmering, what I'm going to do, I'm going to cover this baby and lower the heat to medium. So the broth is going to steam and you're going to see kind of a little bit dry. So that tells you that it's time to start moving things around a little bit carefully. You know, you lift and drop. This is not nearly ready, still liquid on the rice, but you want to lift and drop, lift and drop, lift and drop. Cover again. Still a medium. Let it cook again for about 2 minutes. So 2 minutes later, lift it up. Still, stir and drop. Lift and drop. Lift and drop. Lift and drop. Lift and drop. This is looking beautiful, by the way. It smells delicious. Lift and drop. Cover again. Let's say 2 minutes again, maybe 3. 3 minutes later. It's ready. You know how you know it's ready too? Because you're going to give it a taste. If it's great, if it's crunchy, it's not ready. Oh my goodness. This stuff is so good. See how grainy? Let me get it out of the heat. Let it rest for about 5 minutes.